Surgical stainless steel body piercing jewelry. Pros, cons, advantages, disadvantages. Going to give you 5 of each. Coming up next on Pros and Cons by a Piercer, episode number 39. So stick around. For those that are new to the channel, my name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, located here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. So when I talk to you about these things, I'm talking to you as someone who's done numerous piercings over the years, been in the industry for a long period of time, and has used surgical stainless steel a lot to do piercings. Before we get into the pros and cons, let's talk a little bit about specifically what we're talking about. Surgical stainless steel is a term that can be used for everything from high-grade medical equipment down to pots and pans. It is a type of material made out of steel. It's an alloy. It is really acceptable or works really well at getting a high finish, very durable, etc., and I'll get into all that later. What we use for body piercing jewelry is implant-grade surgical stainless steel. What that generally means is that it's of a purity and quality level that's safe to be inside the body or in contact with the body. There's a lot of numbers that people will throw around when it comes to surgical stainless steel, including 316L and 316LVM. Those two numbers mean absolutely nothing. What they are is a formula for the alloy. It just means what parts are in there and what's in there. It has nothing to do with the purity or quality level of the alloy itself. And that's why it's important that we look at the certification of a third party, that it is of the quality level that is acceptable for implant grade or to be inside the body and is biocompatible. And that number is usually the one we look at the most is ASTM's numbers, including, and the most common attributed to surgical stainless steel is F138-86. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the pros, the advantages. Number one, as I mentioned already, surgical stainless steel is probably one of the most durable types of material that you can get a body piercing jewelry made out of. It lasts long in the body. It does well, doesn't scratch easy. It's very durable and long lasting. I have pieces that I've had in me for well over 20 years. They look like the day I got them, right out of the envelope. And then put them in an autoclave and then put them in me. Number two, surgical stainless steel lends itself to an extremely mirror-like, durable, bright, wonderfully shiny surface or finish. The finish is very important because the more durable the finish is, the less likely anything that's inside the alloy is going to leak out and into the body. So finish is very important. And surgical stainless steel is very, very, very good at that. Number three, it is possibly one of the most affordable materials when it comes to body piercing jewelry. It is not as expensive as titanium, niobium, and especially gold. So it allows you to, regardless of what your budget, get some fairly decent pieces of jewelry that are going to work well with you and last an extremely long time. Number four, it is very biocompatible, though it does contain a little bit of nickel. If it is high-grade, quality, implant-grade surgical stainless steel, has a good finish on it, chances are, even if you're a little sensitive to nickel, you're not going to have issues wearing this material. I've had numerous clients that claimed up and down that they were allergic to nickel that have been wearing stainless steel for years now without a single issue or any type of allergic outbreak. That said, if you're acutely allergic to nickel, one of those people that if you put a watch on, you break out. You wear a belt buckle, you break out. You wear jeans, you break out. You buy that cheap necklace that your boyfriend or girlfriend got you when you were in 5th grade at the mall with the 2 hearts, the heart cut in half thing. You don't want to wear it because you probably are acutely allergic to nickel. Your better options would be niobium or titanium. Gold is another possibility. However, you do want to make sure that it's of a high carat weight, over 14 karat, in that it actually is nickel free. Sometimes even the cheaper 14 karat, if you're getting a deal, probably has a little bit of nickel in it. The other thing to consider is that there is some companies that manufacture nickel-free implant-grade steel. They substitute the nickel with other materials, especially if you're in Europe. It's probably easy to find. Number 5, surgical stainless steel has a long track record of healing and lasting in piercings for extremely long periods of time. The bedrock of this industry is implant-grade surgical stainless steel. Most of the jewelry that was initially pierced with and has continued to be pierced with is implant-grade surgical stainless steel. It is not a new material. It is not experimental. It has a long track record of doing well in piercings, not causing issues, and lasting extremely long periods of time. Now that we got the pros out of the way, let's get on to the disadvantages, the cons. Number 1, nickel. Kind of talked about this already a little bit. It does contain nickel. And like I stated before, if you're acutely allergic to nickel, you are probably going to want to pick another material just to be on the safe side. Probably the most common or easy to find that you're going to find is titanium. Titanium has its advantages, and we'll get into that, disadvantages next week, I think. However, you should probably stay away from surgical stainless steel, as I mentioned earlier, if you're one of those people that just breaks out just because you're looking at it. Number 2, only comes in one finish, and that finish is silvery mirror. If you're wanting anything else, you're out of luck. Sorry, that's all we got. Unlike other materials like titanium, niobium, or even gold, where either through applying electric current to it or changing the alloy slightly, they can get it a different colors. With surgical stainless steel, you're pretty much stuck with silver, bright mirror-like silver, which I love. It's the classic look. It's classy, like me, and old. Number 3, it is heavier than titanium. Now, is this that big of a factor? Well, if you're putting jewelry in of a large gauge in a large size, yes, it can make a big difference. For example, if you're just doing a little 18 gauge ring in your ear, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference, and you won't even be able to notice the difference between surgical stainless steel and titanium. However, if you're putting in a 0 gauge or double 0 gauge 3/4 inch circular barbell with 1/2 inch rings on it, there is a huge difference weight-wise between surgical stainless steel and titanium. In most cases, if you're going up to those large areas, especially if they're through areas of the body that are fairly soft, you probably want to switch out to titanium because that weight will affect how that piercing heals and possibly migrates or rejects. Number 4, it's easy to fake. One of the problems with surgical stainless steel, and possibly one of the reasons why it's gotten this kind of a slightly bad reputation, is it's really difficult to know whether or not it's implant grade or it's something else by just looking at it. Lower end manufacturers have relied on the 316L mark over and over again as some type of it's just the same as the stuff they sell down the street. It isn't. Trained eye can try to tell the difference. Usually the lower end will have kind of a slightly different finish to it or a look to it or a feel to it, but it's hard to tell the difference. And that's why it's important that you always buy your jewelry from a reputable body piercing establishment or a reputable online site. There are a lot of sites online that sell extremely cheap jewelry. There are times when I feel like I should do reviews on them, but I don't really want to waste my money buying their jewelry and supporting them. Good sign is, and something you can always ask is, hey, what's the certification numbers on this? Where are you getting this from? Most reputable shops will tell you exactly who their manufacturers are, or at least give you a rough estimate. And they will also, if asked, can supply mill certificates. They just have to contact their manufacturer and get them. So, when worried, ask. Last one, number 5. Can cause severe issues if it is scratched or the finish is damaged. Now, it is very durable, but it is always possible to make scratches or dents, or it depends on what you do for fun with your piercings. But in theory, if you did damage the finish, not only is there the possibility that a small amount of lead may be in contact with your skin, because it does have a little bit of lead in it, just a little bit, safe level. I don't know if you'd get lead poisoning from it, but it's not a good idea. The other problem would be, and my main concern is that surgical stainless steel, once you've scratched off and removed that outer finish, can rust. And because you're constantly in contact with water and sweat and everything else, well, I hope you're in contact with water on a regular basis. Then again, could that be what the smell is? It's going to be prone to rusting because of that climate that you put it in and next to your body. Now, if it does rust, that can lead to lockjaw. If you're unaware of what lockjaw is, it's why you have to get those tetanus shots. Basically, it's tetanus. And that's why it's important, regardless of what the jewelry is made out of, that anytime jewelry is damaged, that you replace it. The other problem is with anything that's scratched, like jewelry that's scratched, is it can damage the piercing when you remove or shift the jewelry. If you think about it, it's like those burrs kind of rubbing against that. So even with surgical, or even with titanium or gold or anything else, anytime you see damage, you should replace the jewelry. So I think that pretty much sums it up. 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages of surgical stainless steel. I hope you learned something. If you did, if you didn't, or if you have more questions, I guess, please leave a comment. If you'd like to add anything to the conversation, also leave a comment. If you've got something to add, something I missed, let's talk. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, including videos about tattooing with an idea or a focus on education, click that subscription bell and ding dong that there bell so you get notified every single time we post something. We usually post roughly about 4 to 5 videos a week, and basically all on body piercing and tattooing. So it's a place to be in the know. Thanks for watching. Hope all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see you for your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Get out there and do something. Enjoy it before it gets really cold and nasty out. See ya.